Hello, everybody. This is A-Train, and you are listening to True Crime Undercover. And I am talking with the star of the show, the fabulous Super E.
What's up, A-Train?
I am doing good. How are you?
Not too bad. It's freezing.
Yes. It's very cold. It's very cold.
And I just got off the phone with D-Mania. He had to go into the plant, so he won't be able to make it.
What does that even mean? He has to go.
I have no idea.
I have to go into the plant.
I don't know, because I know he ain't eating any plant-based foods, that's for sure.
He's on the high-carb, high-fat, high-oil diet, which is it's same one I'm on.
Yeah, it's high-carb, and then people say high-fat, so that's what it is. But anyways, what we're going to do today, A-Train, is something completely different.
Okay.
It's going to be like them cheesy improvs like Second City that everybody hates. But I'm sorry, all the stars of Second City. I know you're not listening, but I'll throw it to the universe. I apologize.
Okay, so there's going to be some improvisation. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm going to need you to do one thing, because I'm going to be talking about when Diane, my partner with RJ, when she would go out and patronize, that means stand on the corner and act like a prostitute. We're going to talk about the levels of guys that she had to deal with. And on one of these, I'm going to need you to, what do you call it? Find your inner female prostitute looking for Dilaudid, and we'll do anything to get it.
All right, wait a minute. Let me get in character. I'm a method actor.
You don't have to do it yet.
Oh, okay.
You got a few minutes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm so excited about this. All right.
Well, here we go. Now, what Diane would do was extremely dangerous, and as we blabber on about nonsense, we will wrap up with how dangerous it could be.
Okay.
All right. So when Diane would patronize, she was very attractive, and the guys would all lose their shit, and stopping and all that. But I noticed over time there was different categories of guys.
Okay.
The first one was the curious. She would get the guys who were just driving somewhere. Let's say they're driving down to the village pantry, to get a Slurpee or something. And they drive by and they see this good-looking girl in the corner. They're like, "What the hell?" Yeah. They would generally pull around, and we're like, "We got a sightseer." "Hey, what are you doing? What's going on?" And then Diane would inform them, "I need to make money because I'm a Dilaudid addict." And then, I'm just going to go get my Slurpee. See ya. And one time, there was some curious young lads from the hood.
Okay. They
were piled in a 9/8. I mean, it was full to the brim. They were hanging out the window. They see Diane standing on the corner, and you can see the brake lights. They spin around. They always go around the block. They go around the block, and then I guess they appointed one spokesman to talk to her because all the other ones were giggling so hard.
Right. So they had a Karine Jean-Pierre as a spokesman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, except more sensible. Anyways, so the deuce and a quarter pulls right up next to Diane, and they go, "Excuse me, ma'am, excuse me. We know you're busy prostituting, but will you do us a favor?" And Diane's like, "What do you gentlemen need? Will you come over here? Can we all smell your doo-doo breath?" Then they all busted out laughing and peeled out.
Okay.
And she's standing there with her hands on her hips, going, "Doo-doo breath."
And they thought that was just so funny, didn't they?
That made their night.
And did they go any farther other than asking to smell her doo-doo breath?
Farther down the road. They wasn't going back. They were scared to death. And then that brings me to the curious could maybe transform into the nervous Nellies.
Okay.
And this is where I need you to enter the world of a female prostitute.
Okay.
And I'm a nervous Nelly patronizer.
Okay.
All right. So you're standing on the corner, and I've driven by like 3 times. I slow down. I look at you, then I drive off. Finally, it's the fourth time I slow down, and I roll my window down, and you approach my passenger car, and you would say,
Hey, baby, what are you looking for?
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
can we?
So Laurence Olivier come out of his grave to kick your ass. That was the worst. Anyways.
Can we try that again?
Say it again.
Can we try
say
it again?
Okay.
Hey, baby, what are you looking for?
Okay. So we got Mr. Haney from Green Acres prosecuting.
Okay.
One more try.
Hey, baby, what are you looking for? I'm a female impersonator.
I was going to say Lola.
Hey,
okay,
baby.
and then here's the nervous Nelly. They'd be like, hi, how are you doing? What's going on? Hi, what you doing? What are you out here for? What are you doing?
Hey, why don't you just calm down?
I can't calm down. I can't stop wringing my hands. What do I do? Are you the police? There's the police around. Is that a helicopter? No, that's a bird. Oh, I see everything. I'm so scared.
Do I look like the police, bitch?
No, you don't look like the police. Am I the police? No, I can't be the police. Oh, it's not me. What are you doing? What can I get? What can I get? What can I get?
Well, I'm out here making some money. What do you want?
Oh, I know my knuckles are white because I'm gripping the steering wheel like I'm trying to strangle it, but I wouldn't mind getting, what do you call that? Oral sex?
Well, here on the street, we call it giving head. Now, let me see it.
Okay. Well, I could feel Mr. Weasel's getting stiff. Oh, my God, Mommy, forgive me. And then the sound of the car peeling off and driving away.
Okay. Did I scare him off?
You scared me off. No, the nervous Nellies, it would take them 6 or 7 attempts before they finally got the nerve to actually go through with it. And then if it was a policewoman, then they really shit their pants when their fears came true. But then the next one we're going to go to, where you don't have to do a character, unless you want to.
I'm willing to give it another try.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. This time, use your rich little Carol Channing voice.
Carol Channing. Okay, got it.
Okay. Now this one would be called the Reformers.
Okay.
Now, I'm a reformer. I pull up. You pull up. I pull up to you. Okay. You're standing there.
Right.
I roll down my window and go.
Hello, baby. I'm Carol Channing.
Oh, Carol Channing, you are so attractive with that long boa. But what are you doing out here? Why are you out here?
Well, I'm just out here to make some money.
Oh, I could give you money, but not for that. You don't have to give head to get money. I could give you money.
Well, I'm out here earning money, so I have to give you head to make the money.
Well, you don't have to give me head. How about I just take you to dinner? Would you like to go to dinner? Would that be nice? Would you like to go to dinner with me?
I'm not into that.
Well, I would take you to McDonald's and let you supersize the French fries.
Okay.
Come on.
So you'll buy me a hamburger and French fries if I suck your dick.
No dick sucking. Oh, no dick sucking. I gotta go. And then they peel off.
Okay.
Now we're getting to the unabashed perv.
Okay.
Okay. Now this time you're just a regular girl. Go ahead.
I'm just a regular girl.
I pull up. I roll down to my window and go.
Hey, baby, what are you out doing?
Okay, this is the unabashed perv.
Okay.
All right. Let me jump on that pussy, bitch. Get in, whore. Your response?
My response is, I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous, you whore. Get in.
Well, do you have any money?
I got tons of money, and my dentures ain't going to stick that long. Get in, whore.
Let me see that money first.
All right, here's $50. Now get your ass in. I can smell you. Get in, bitch. And then she'd give the signal. The cuff would come out. And we'd take them away. Those are the easiest.
Right.
Now the scariest were the. No, I forgot. I'm not going to go to the scariest yet. I'm going to do the guys from left field that you didn't see coming.
Okay.
And this you don't have to do a character.
Okay. Good.
So, anyways. Me and RJ are sitting there, and we are just north of the bank lot. Diane's on the corner. She's about, 30 yards away from us. And we're parked, so we're backed in so we can see what's going on. and she's standing right by the abandoned bank building. I don't know if it was Keystone in Washington or whatever that street was. And so one time we saw, it's getting a little dusk, starting to get dusk in the summertime, and we saw the typical guys driving by. You can see the brake lights. He looks at her, drives, goes around the block, goes around 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So RJ started going, okay, I think she's reeling this one in. The guy turns north on the street, and he parks right next to us. And we're looking at him. He looks at us, and he just wanders. He doesn't go straight walking towards Diane. He makes a little left, and he goes around the back of the building.
Oh, man.
And we're saying, okay, maybe that guy's going somewhere to do something else, and maybe he's not interested.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could see that Diane's looking to her left, and she's looking at somebody approaching, and you could tell she's trying to talk to him, but the person is not responding. And then this person slinks by him, and then you can see Diane just looking down at their pelvic area with her hands on her hips, watching him walk by.
Okay.
And the dude starts walking back towards us. And then she gives her signal, whatever she had, the signal.
Uh-huh.
Which meant get out and get that guy. And we get out and get him, and we go, hold on, guy, before he gets into his car. We got to talk to you. We're vice detectives, and this sergeant here wants us to detain you. So Diane comes strolling up, and we're like, what did he do? What did he do? Because he was just standing there, and Diane walks up and lifts up his shirt tail because it was kind of sagging down. He had gigantic balls, and just his balls were hanging out. I mean, they look like they were the size of the novelty balls that rednecks put under their pickup truck. So you saw these big, blue, veiny, hairy things, and we're like, dude, what are you doing? And she walks, she goes to the back to get paperwork out of the trunk of our undercover car. We're like, dude, what are you doing? You walk by her with just your balls out?
What
was the point of that?
Yeah, what's that all about?
And he goes, I don't know. I just had the strangest urge to walk by her with just my balls hanging out and just let her see them. And we're like, I said, okay. Then I go, okay, did you not see me and my large, muscular, bald-headed partner sitting in the car talking, watching? He goes, yeah, I thought you guys are a couple of creeps jacking off. And we're like, oh my God. Then we said, well, we could have looked like that. That's true.
Yeah, that's really not a stretch, but yeah.
Yeah. And so that was the guys from left field. You'd get quite a few of them. Uh-huh. And then you would get the wolves in sheep clothing, the most dangerous one.
Right.
The ones. One time, this was like in the middle of the day. Let's say it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. And we were down there at Oxford in Washington. You know that area.
Yes.
Where the liquor store used to be. And then there was like an old apartment building.
Yes.
Okay, well, what she would do is Diane would stand on the sidewalk just north of Washington on Oxford. And the cars, of course, they'd all drive around. They'd do like a couple of recon security checks to make sure there's no police.
Okay.
And they'd stop and talk to her. So I'm sitting there across the street in my car, and I could hear this music playing as the car was coming south on Oxford.
Okay.
And it was a brand new black Cadillac. Uh-huh. And it was some old guy singing it, and he was singing an old church hymn. He was, marching Christian soldiers. And I was like, what in the world? I said, I thought maybe this would be some guy who would end up being a reformer because he slowed down for a second.
Right.
We got a reformer here, listening to Christian music, belting it out.
Uh-huh.
But he looks at her, doesn't say anything, and goes around the block.
Okay.
And then he parked right behind the building. And he's over talking to her.
Okay.
And he is the friendliest guy in the world. He's probably in his mid-60s. And he looks like he could have been on the set of Ozzie and Harriet trying on a sweater. I mean, he was laid back, friendly. He's talking to Diane. How you doing? What you doing out here? She says, I'm trying to make some money. Oh, you're trying to make some money. She was like, what are you doing? Well, I'm a devout person of the Lord. I'm doing the Lord's work today. And I'm just out singing and just a just showing my faith to God. She goes, well, that's okay, but I really need to make some money. I really got to make some money. Well, how do you make money? She goes, well, most of the guys, sir, she didn't want to come out and say to a religious guy, they want me to let them ram their wiener in my throat.
Yeah. She was trying.
She just says, well, but see, Diane she was smart. She's like, this guy, maybe. And she goes, well, sir, I will perform a sexual act that the man desires for the money that I need. He goes, oh, well, I think I could take a break from Lord for just a minute to help you out. He goes, where can we go? And she goes, well, I got an apartment right up there. In fact, let me go in there and get it ready for you. You just come on up. He goes, I'll be right on up. And, she got the proposition out of him. I think it was going to be I think he was generous, like $40 or something for sex and fellatio.
Okay.
So he goes, just wait a minute, I'll be up. And he runs to the trunk of his car and pops open the trunk and gets out a great big gym bag.
Oh, God.
And starts walking it up. Well, Diane didn't actually go all the way up. She was just standing by the door watching.
Right.
And then I clearly could see her signal as she went in the door, and I got out. I'm walking up behind him. She goes, what do you got in that bag? He goes, I just got some things to make it more fun. I think you'll enjoy it. And I tap him on the shoulder, and he turns around and he sees me, and he's like, oh, shit. And I badge him. It's not Manson to come down for Judgment Day. And I badged him, and I said, what do you got in there? I opened that up, A-Train. He had whips, restraints, handcuffs. He had duct tape and rope.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, what was this guy going to do?
Yeah.
And I believe there might have been a hammer in there also. There was a blunt object of some sort.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what in the hell? And his demeanor went from happy-go-lucky to, the soulless, remorseless, blank stare and not wanting to answer any questions.
Oh, my God.
He just didn't, we had to, he didn't say anything. We just had to get his ID and do that. It went from Ned Flanders to John Wayne Gacy. I mean, it was bizarre.
Oh, man, he was going to do something bad.
Yes. And then another time, this was the Wolves in Sheep Clothing with a dash of Starsky and Hutch. They only have an hour episode.
Okay.
Because me and RJ and Diane are sitting in the office, just get in the office, and then we get this bulletin out of a guy that's raped about 5 or 6 of the girls working the street. And he was extremely violent, and he was beating them. To get a girl that was prostituting on the street to go to the cops, they had to be severely beaten and raped for them to come forward because they didn't think anybody would do anything.
Right.
So a few of the girls came forward, and they gave a description of the truck. It was like a newer red Ford pickup truck that kind of had a candy apple red paint job that was very distinctive.
All right.
And so it was like, hey, Captain Crockett, he was like, Diane, get out there. We got to get this guy off the street, because we got to protect our citizens.
All right.
She goes, no problem, Captain, we'll get out there right now. So we zip out there, and me and RJ sitting in the car. And I think I remember this. I said, man, we'll probably be here all night. I wish this was like Starsky and Hutch. Whenever they were looking for a suspect, they'd parked that big red Torino out in front of the guy's house. 2 seconds later, the guy's coming out carrying 20 bags of cocaine and a whole thing of cash.
Yeah.
And a bunch of guns. They boom right there. As soon as my sentence ended, here comes a candy red Ford pickup truck. Pulls up. And it's dark out, so it's about 11 o'clock at night because we were working late shift. And luckily, she was standing by a street light so we could see her. And also, the girl said that the guy would lure him in talking real nice, and then he would pull out a pocket knife and threaten to cut their throats. And he was extremely violent. So that's what we were worried about. This guy had a knife, and he was ready to cut somebody's throat. And he was probably, what do you call it? He was increasing. He couldn't get his desired.
His level of violence was escalating.
Yes, escalating. That's the word I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
We were thinking this guy might be escalating, and he might increase the violence, where he might chase a girl down and stab her.
Right.
You know, because the sex was no longer part of it. It was the violence.
Right.
So we see this red truck pulling up to Diane, and she's talking to him, and I know she immediately, her danger signal went off because she recognized the vehicle. And usually she'd be right, close to where she could talk to him.
Right.
She was about 5 feet away. She was talking to the guy, and he was being real nice to her, asking her about her problems. Does she need help? Kind of like the other guy, the religious guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to lure her in, trying to get her confidence. Come on, just get in the truck. You can get in the truck. We can talk about it. What are you out doing? She goes, I'm trying to make money. I can help you. Just get in the truck. And she's like, man, I don't want to go any closer. Finally, we're watching. She gets a little bit closer. He lunges out of that driver's door, the window, and tries to grab her and pull her into him because he had that knife in his hand.
Oh, my gosh.
And she was able to recoil back and give the signal, and we zoomed in on this motherfucker and grabbed him out of there and got that knife. And, we locked him up for all that. And he was one of those guys, again, stone cold, basically just fuck you to every question. I didn't do nothing. Fuck you. She's a whore.
Man.
And that kind of thing.
And he was the serial rapist.
He was the guy. He went to, I think it was a jury trial.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually got one of the street girls to testify.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've talked about this before, and she was so nervous. Basically, just said, just get up there, just talk to them. They're not going to judge you. You're a victim. And her name was Robin, if I remember correctly. And she got up there, and she was just talking to the jury, just looking dead at him, not looking down, not looking straight ahead at the prosecutor or whatever who was talking to her. She was talking to the jury. When the defense attorney tried to get at her, she wasn't fazed, and when the defense attorney said something to her that, of course, what they got to ask, about her being a prostitute and all that, working the streets.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, sir, all that's true. And she looks at the jury and goes, even though I'm a prostitute, I'm a drug addict, and I do this for money. That's wrong. I still don't deserve to be brutalized the way I was and raped by the defendant right there.
Wow.
And you could hear a pin drop in there. And if I remember correctly, this was 35 years ago, he got a guilty verdict on him.
Good.
Man. That was one night where we were like, oh my God.
Man, so he lunged out at Diane, tried to grab her.
He was wanting to grab her, and he had that knife ready to go.
Man, he did. Oh, man, that's scary.
She was too smart. She was too smart for him.
Yeah, she was smart. Is smart.
Yes.
Wow. Holy moly. So we went from lighthearted, horrible Carol Channing impersonation to stone cold psychopaths.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I watched that documentary on the BTK killer. The guy's, what's his name, Dennis Rader or something.
Yeah, right.
Churchgoer, well-respected, happy-go-lucky, psychopathic killer.
Yes.
So that's what these girls had to deal with. Going to jail was on their radar. Can't go to jail, but getting murdered was way on their radar.
Right. Yeah,
because remember me talking about it one time when one of the detectives called up some woman that was staying in a motel.
Yeah.
And so he goes in there, and it's one of these things where he goes into a motel, and they sit there and talk to him, make sure they're not a cop, make sure they're not a killer. But when she finally agreed, now, they put you through a bunch of hoops. So anyways, he gets the arrest. We go in there, and the girl recognizes me because, I've been doing this for like, let's see, 16 years at the time, and she recognized me from locking up prostitutes in the hood.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Hey, Super E, it's me. It's me." I go, "Who are you?" She goes, "Nancy. Nancy's down on Washington Street. I was only like 15 at the time, or 10, and we used to tell you about prostitutes and stuff." And I was like, "Oh, okay. So what's going on?" She goes, "Well, I started prostituting myself." But she goes, "You're going to need something." And I'm like, "What?" "The officer's going to need something." She goes, "See that pile of clothes on that dresser?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "That's my murder camcorder. Every time I have a John come in here, I turn on the camcorder. So just in case I get murdered, the police will find this.
Wow.
And hopefully that'll help them get my killer."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So she knew. I mean, it's
She
a
knew.
risk.
She knew.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's sad.
That is sad.
That is sad.
Well,
Wow.
Well, we went down a dark rabbit hole.
It started out very lighthearted. Our listeners
Yes.
giggling. Now they're
Doo-doo breath. Ha ha ha.
now they're in, as you say, sitting on the edge of the bed, looking at the floor.
Yes. Waiting to fall into a fetal position.
Okay, that was good stuff. I hope everybody enjoyed that. That was it was interesting and terrifying.
Yes.
All right. Well, Super E, thank you for that.
All right.
And
Everybody don't freeze to death.
yeah, don't freeze to death. Come on back and listen to us. All right. See ya. Bye.